Your favorite altcoins, Hedera, Cardano, XRP, Ethereum, are they going to make it this cycle? We're going to play a game today. Never done this on the show. We're super excited to do it. We're going to be ranking the top 25 altcoins. Are they going to the moon, to the abyss, or to the void? We have a live tier ranking system we're going to do on the show today. We also have a special guest joining us in about 30 minutes. Drew from the Blockchain Basement will be joining us. We're also going to talk a little bit about XRP and the executive order that Donald Trump signed. What does that mean for a potential collaboration with Ripple and XRP payments? We have some news on Cosmos. Is the latest upgrade and interoperability enough to put Cosmos back on the map, or is it going to the abyss? We'll talk about that. We'll take a look at the markets. We have that and much, much more on today's episode of Sin City Crypto. Let's go.
Hola! It's your boy, Big Rob, back in the house. Welcome to Sin City Crypto, home of the entertainment, focus, price prediction savant cryptocurrency channel, where we take old, boring, and stale information and repackage that whole thing up in a fun and sexy way. You know what? I feel amazing today. Do you know why that is, David?
No, I don't really care.
Off to you, David. What can I do for you?
Okay. How you feel?
I don't know, man. You know,
Did you roll in a 77
I did not. I woke up without an alarm clock, had triple espresso today, and I'm feeling good.
Triple espresso.
Triple espresso, and then the carpets in the back.
Any more coffee down there?
No more coffee.
Guys, if you're not following our podcast studio handle on X, I highly recommend you go follow it. This is the handle here. I'll show you guys. We're waiting for our verification check. It is Sin City Podcast. That is our handle. This is nothing but our studio post. And so if you guys know, we have a brick and mortar studio, unlike a lot of channels where they just do webcam and mic, which nothing wrong with that, but we went all in. And so this is where we post everything studio related. I'll be posting, Rob mentioned the carpet. It looks pretty dope. I'll be posting that video later today. So do us a favor. If you're not following us, go follow us at Sin City Podcast on X. We're also on Instagram as well. Same exact handle. Okay, so let's jump in here first. And then we'll do this. This is going to be fun. So, did Trump sign an executive order for XRP payments? Okay, so let's watch the video of the executive order that President Trump signed. And we'll talk about, does this mean anything for XRP? Listen.
I have an executive order for your attention relating actually to government payments. Historically, checks issued by the Treasury are, I believe, 14 times more likely to become the subject of fraud than electronic transfer payments. This is an executive order that's going to push the Treasury Department to modernize its payment system to ensure that where possible they're using electronic methods of payment as opposed to paper checks in order to reduce waste, fraud, and abuse in the government. Which is obviously an endeavor that we've been pursuing in numerous aspects of government under your leadership.
It's basically modernization of equipment and methods, and it's something that really I think he's going to be a great Secretary of the Treasury wanted, Scott, and so we're doing this, and we have other modernization programs going on. We could let somebody else, whoever's next, whoever that may be, do it, but it's something that should have been done 25, 30 years ago.
So there's the video and kind of Trump's comments. And then going back to the article. So it says Ripple's existing partnerships and Trump's prior interests fuel rumors of XRP's possible role in the new system. Could this be the moment that blockchain technology and possibly Ripple's XRP enters the government's financial system? With recent hints from both Trump and Elon Musk, the idea isn't as far-fetched as it sounds. Now, before I ask Rob his opinion, I do want to give a big thank you. Today's show is brought to you by none other than the largest social casino in the world, that is Stake, and more specifically, Stake.us. They are a channel sponsor, and so if you enjoy poker or gambling, or you want to test Robin's theory of is it really possible to roll that many sevens in a row,
77 sevens, bro.
Stake.us
Got a hot hand.
is the place to be at. You can earn free stake cash and then redeem it for crypto right inside the app. And so if you don't have an account yet, if you want to support the channel, create an account. It's free. You can go in there. You can check it out. They have live table games. It's really fun, and it gives you that Vegas casino vibe, but without having to leave your house and tipping everyone $5, $10 everywhere you walk. So big shout out to Stake for sponsoring today's show. So I guess my question is, Stake is a leader in social gaming casinos. XRP is a leader in payments. Are people crazy to think that Ripple might be on the short list if this decides to go the route of blockchain as far as payments with the treasury? Now, he didn't specifically say we want to do blockchain. They're like, look, they're cutting checks. We want to cut that out. We want to go digital. Well, the infrastructure is kind of there already with digital payments. Right?
XRP, I guess, makes the most sense, but you can't discount Chainlink. And, you had Sergey Nazarov sitting down at that White House meeting about 3 weeks ago, 2 to 3 weeks ago now. And
that was long ago.
Yeah, so now Brad Garlinghouse was also there, which is actually kind of funny because if you looked at attendance, there's Brad Garlinghouse, then Sergey, pretty. I think they were like next to each other. Yeah. But either way, I wouldn't be surprised to see multiple blockchains doing this. But Chainlink is kind of the first thing that pops to mind because they already have integration with Swift, and we know that the federal government is using the Swift system to move money already. And so why not have the Treasury use Swift, and in doing so, also perhaps use Chainlink. But
don't forget, Chainlink is also partnered with the DTCC, which does quadrillions in transactions.
Yeah, and so I don't know. I think you might. I would expect no blockchain. I'll be honest with you. And I know from the headlines you're gonna get excited about this, but I don't think we see blockchain in the Treasury.
Really?
No.
The Treasury is the taxpayer's bank account. And the way I look at it is, I want to be able to go into my app and check my bank account whenever I want, right? Am I overspending? Am I underspending? What am I getting charged for?
I think what you're doing here is you're not going from a bicycle to a Ferrari, or you're going from a bus pass to a Lexus, or you're going from the walking trail to
trail?
to a G-Wagon.
The
walking trail, yeah.
Okay.
And that's where we have the Treasury's literally, as they said, per the the Trump cabinet, they're writing paper checks. Who the hell writes paper checks? Like I
saw grandma one time.
The Treasury Department, the head of the largest government, the issuer of payments is writing paper checks. And so I think what they're saying is like, look, we got this archaic system. We still got somebody over here pinning paper.
So what are you trying to say? Ripple's not going to be part of it or what, man?
I'm just saying that if we're at paper checks, going from paper checks and next month go to blockchain, the leap is just crazy to me. That's all. That's
Rocco's
all
not
I'm
happy.
saying.
Rocco's not happy.
I'm not saying it's
Rocco. Tell him.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
just
nothing to say. I mean, it's very simple. There is hold on.
I would like to see him use blockchain. It makes the most sense, but I'm just.
But there is no other leap. It's not like you're gonna go from checks to what? Partial check, half check, half cash. So it's got a leap.
Well, they already have the Fed Now system and the digital rails, and you can sell it. So they already have that. So what's the next step then?
No, that's what it is. The next step is Chainlink, the validator, and Ripple as the system to move the money.
Unless
both of them.
Unless they're just talking about, hey, we don't want any more check writing. We want everything to be digital and has nothing to do with blockchain.
That's what I took away from it.
But here's the thing, though, Rob. If there's ever an administration that would make that leap, it's this one.
Yeah. No, I
literally every single secretary of every single thing that Trump has put in place, the Treasury, the Commerce, the Homeland Security, the
like
HHS.
I said, it makes sense. Also, we know that Trump is very pro-crypto, forward-thinking. He's got all kinds of crypto people there.
He probably has a big bag of XRP.
I wouldn't be floored. I wouldn't be like, oh my God, guys, who would have ever thought that the United States government, the executive branch, would have picked blockchain as a way to track and trace and send money? Like, I don't think it's that far-fetched. But at the same time, I'm just looking at the system that we have now compared to some kind of, because anything's better than paper checks, right?
Yeah.
Like this is what I'm saying. It's like anything is better than paper check. At this point, you can just have, ACH transfers or something comparable and Swift transfers or some kind of ledger or some kind of bank movement. And that's the one that's just fundamentally better than paper checks. All right. I mean, how can you account? Or like, what do you issue a paper check and you have somebody that's, you remember in the back of the checkbook, you would have the balance, the checkbook lines.
What was that called? What was that called?
It was like balance the checkbook lines. So you would write every check and say, okay, I sent out $34. Here I sent out $86. I feel like somebody at the Fed is sitting there
used to do that.
with the little Monopoly Man eyeglass thing, and he's just like, yeah, so $68 billion to
Monopoly Man eyeglass.
South Korea, Sesame Street.
Monopoly Man one glass.
Is there Sesame?
And then when
Is there
Elon
Sesame
Musk,
Street in South Korea?
when Elon Musk was auditing,
You know exactly what's going through my mind right now. I'm replaying what Sesame Street would sound like and look like in South Korea.
oh yeah,
Sorry, go ahead.
I just lost my train of thought.
Me too.
There's Elon Musk. Anyways,
You were talking about where the money's going, the Fed writing down
Yeah.
pay paper.
yeah. Oh yeah.
trail.
So Elon Musk, he even said that they weren't even putting where the payments were going on the checks. So they were just sending out blank. They were just sending out checks, and they weren't even. It would just have the payee, and it would have no comment, no memo, nothing. It would just say simply like,
Listen, we're a
Here's organization A. Here's $6 billion. Nothing, no context to it.
we're a company the size of peanuts compared to the Federal Reserve, and every time I cut a check or send money, there is always a description of where the money's going. Robin's spending habits. Robin overspent on a camera. Robin wants this expensive lighting. Just kidding. Before I get into the okay, so I do want to share one thing. We'll go to Ashley, and then we'll do this. I'm excited to do this. So this is gonna be, we're gonna rank some of your favorite altcoins in here, and which ones do we think are going to the moon, the abyss, and the void, to be spoken about later. But Robin, you should feel very lucky as you already have a Mercedes. So if you're going to upgrade, you need to do it soon because, well, with the new 25% auto tariffs across the board, Porsche and Mercedes will be hit the hardest, facing a potential $3.4 billion blow from the new U.S. tariffs on imported cars. Ashley and Robin, I believe you both have fairly newer cars, so you should be okay. Rocco, you and I, though, on the other hand, we're Toyota guys. I got a 2018 Camry. Rocco,
Okay,
I don't want to dox your car. You can do that if you want to.
Time to upgrade,
Time to upgrade.
Yeah, we can do just a Viper. That's Doge.
Viper.
That's a Dodge.
My
It's a
dad
Dodge
used to have
car.
one of those.
Yeah, it's a nice
Dodge
car.
Viper,
Yeah.
the sports car, the
Yeah.
two-seater.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
nice.
no. He had a Toyota Celica.
Listen,
Oh.
it's a
Not a
Viper
Viper,
is a
sorry.
completely different another car.
Toyota Celica.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was very famous for the.
But he had a
And-
Toyota Celica.
A
wasn't it?
Celica was good for a-
and a
for-
Dodge Viper. That's
That's not.
Well, they're
that's
both kind of
interesting.
sports cars. Anyway.
No.
Ashley,
it's okay.
that's like
Let me-
the golf cart versus the Jeep Wrangler.
Rocco, can we cut to Ashley, please? I'm sick
Yeah.
of listening to this man. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're great. Do you have any new names you want to ramble off before I start pissing some people off?
Right now, I do not have any new names.
Wow.
but Can we piss people off?
Sure. Let's jump right in. Okay. So, title of today's show is we're ranking the altcoins. Okay. So we always talk about this cycle is going to be different. It's not going to be close your eyes, throw a dartboard, and whatever you hit, no matter what in the top 300, is going to 5, 10, 20, 100x. We all agree, at least us here on this panel, that is not going to happen. You're going to see money flow heavily into quality projects and projects that are actually solving real world problems. Okay. So the question then becomes, which of those projects are on track to go that way and which ones are on track to go to zero, or as I call the abyss? And so I have 25, I believe the number is 25 altcoins, and we're going to rank them. So red is the moon. So which ones do we believe are going to the moon, are going to see big positive price action because they're grounded in utility and what they want to do? The abyss is the projects that we believe will trend to zero, that we don't have any faith in, that we believe is not going to be serving any purpose that's important enough to pump its value. And the void is when Rob and I cannot agree We will throw it in the void, and we want you, the chat, to play along as we go through these. And then when we bring Drew on about 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes, we'll get his thoughts. Maybe he can help us play the void. So we're going to start first with Ethereum. Robin, also, just give a one-liner on your reasoning, okay? So I believe Ethereum belongs in the moon because of RWA as an institution. I think you can't write it.
Look at his face.
Robin?
The moon?
Yeah.
What's it going to the moon on?
Did you not pay attention?
Different moon.
Please do not overcomplicate this. The moon is projects that will make new all-time highs because they serve a purpose and utility. The abyss is they're not. They're going to trend to zero. And the void is when we don't agree.
I mean, on a long enough time window, I'm going to go with the abyss.
The abyss?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like we should have a middle tier here, right? It's like you think it's gonna go new all-time highs, super prosperous.
So then if you think it's going to get new
and then
all-time
just
highs, then
slowly,
it belongs to the moon.
Then how about a slowly bleed out over
No,
time?
there's no category. That's not a category.
And lose value. Like,
so you think ETH is going to make an all-time high?
Where is Dash at zero?
Dash is not on here, so don't.
No, but I'm just saying, is Dash at zero?
Dash should be at zero.
Is Bitcoin Cash at zero?
Bitcoin Cash should.
Is ETH Classic at zero? That's what I'm saying. Like, where would you put ETH Classic on here?
ETH Classic, I'd put into the abyss.
But what if it breaks a new all-time high? I think it'll break a new all-time high.
Part of the game. Then you put it in the moon.
So it's just new all-time high, never hit a new all-time high.
Will it make a new all-time high? Yes.
Okay.
Or no? From this point.
Okay. Yes, it'll hit all-time.
Okay.
This game seems too complicated.
It's not complicated. He just makes everything complicated.
Why is Banana Coin not on here?
Banana Coin is not in the top 100. What about Avalanche?
Yeah, it'll break new all-time high.
I think it'll break new all-time highs. My big thing is gaming. We know you were talking about the gun.
I'll be honest with you. I think most of these are going to break all-time highs, minus Polygon.
We'll see. Cardano, all-time high.
Yep.
Okay. What do you think is going to be the biggest thing that drives Cardano to its all-time high?
It was just literally $1 away from its previous all-time high in its early stages of bull market.
Okay. SHIB.
Yes.
I'm a no. I don't think SHIB gets to $44 billion. Why do you think SHIB makes a new all-time high? Do you think just retail is going to come in and buy up SHIB?
It's only a 5x from all-time high. I think when you see a $250,000 Bitcoin, I think that it's easily the alt is gonna move. I mean, SHIB's up 10% right now. SHIB and Doge are leading the top 100 on pumps. They've outperformed everything that's up there right now this year. And so to think it's not going to keep performing well, I don't know.
I'm going to go no. Polkadot. I'm a no on Polkadot. For me, Polkadot, I don't think it's done enough to kind of separate itself from the competition as far as their main niche of what they're looking to do. And they haven't really added anything else that I think is of value. Look at that $55 all-time high of Polkadot. I just don't think it gets there. What is it at, $5?
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
No? Okay. So Polkadot is going into the abyss. Near Protocol. I think Near kind of missed the boat on AI agents. I think that could have been a big play for Near to bring users, daily active users, developers, new wallets, fresh capital. I think they missed the boat on that, but I still think they're in my top 5 for AI plays. And so I do think they're going to break an all-time high. It's at like $21. And I like the team. I think Near goes to the moon. What about you?
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll break all-time high.
Caspa.
Yeah, it'll break all-time high.
Okay. What do you think is going to drive Caspa's resurgence to new all-time?
It's just, if we're just talking, it's a community-driven coin. Same concept as Cardano. It's not far off of its previous all-time high. It's a community-driven coin. Retail's going to come in at some point, and so I don't see why it wouldn't.
So you think okay. ICP.
Now, what do you consider new all-time high for this? Because the market maker mismatch it had when it released at $428, that's not going to happen. But what do you consider an all-time high?
$700.
No. But you think you think $700 is an all-time high?
I mean, according to the chart, yeah.
But don't you think that's a mess up? Do you count scam wicks on a certain exchange as all-time high or an actual price?
That's a tough question to answer because if your case is, okay, we're not going to count. I think it was on Coinbase that it saw. Coinbase, I think it was at $700. We can go to the weekly and check on ICP. So ICP, yeah, it was on Coinbase. And so you go to, let's pull the numbers from Binance, okay? So
They're all going to be comparable. I mean, it was going to be $600 on Binance or $650.
ICP on Binance was $2,800.
I mean, like if I were to talk to somebody about ICP and its price, I'm not going to reference $700. Like it was an obvious error on the market makers setting the price. Obviously, the market makers here in this situation was Alameda Research, was the arm of FTX, which is embedded with fraud, and they would take advantage of projects by mismatching the price and then dumping the tokens allocated for the exchange, which is massively illegal and fraud. But either way, it wasn't trading at that price, right? And so for me, when you talk about all-time high, like what were people excited to buy and sell, right? Not what was the airdrop price, not what was the list price. I think it doesn't really represent what the value of it was. Now, if it would have came out and maybe a month and a half later it got up to $700, that'd be different because there's a large amount of people coming in, buying and selling, and happily accumulating at that price. Nobody was accumulating at that price. It listed, and then it was just Alameda Research just dumping on it, on everyone. And there were some people that were buying because they were like, oh, hey, you know what? This seems like it has a good roadmap. I like the team, like the idea. They didn't realize the mismatch value. But, yeah.
So then what would you consider ICP's all-time high?
I don't know. What was the high during 2021? $65.
You think it breaks $65?
Yeah, I think so.
I do too. I think with ICP, if they can get some dApps the way their ecosystem is set up, if they can get some dApps, I think ICP really has a chance to be in the top 20, in my opinion, top 15, top 20. XRP, I think we're both going to say it's going to the moon. For me, the intriguing play with XRP is what does it do with government, right? Now that the SEC lawsuit is over, what kind of partnerships are we going to see that weren't quite possible when it did have the lawsuit? Okay, so these are pretty easy. Now, the other ones should be interesting. Polygon, okay? Polygon's sitting at 29 cents, 29 cents, at all-time high of around $3. You think Polygon?
Nope.
You don't think Polygon will make a new all-time high?
You think the question twice?
You think it dwindles away?
No.
Hey, what's your reason?
First of all, people are leaving the Ethereum ecosystem. It's a scaling solution People aren't even using the base chain. If you are interested in scaling solutions, it's not even the top choice. It's not even the second to top choice. It may be number 3, arguably number 4. If you include Ethereum, number 5 out of the ETH ecosystem.
Yeah, I'm iffy on this one. You know, this one, I'm gonna throw this one in the void because I'm gonna be curious what Drew's gonna say. Okay, Algorand, all-time high, I believe was around $5 for Algorand. Now, not a lot of talk, not a lot of like big news coming out of Algorand, and no, they got payments. The team is really good. Their ecosystem is kind of growing, but a lot of people are torn on Algo, and you have an all-time high of $3.50 for Algorand. Technically, last cycle, it did not reach its all-time high. So,
once again, ICO mismatch.
So you think it's going to go into all-time high?
Nope.
You don't think it gets back to 3 or 4?
I don't think it gets. I'd be surprised if it gets up to $1.50.
We're going to put this in the void because I am torn. I think it will. I think the team is strong enough. I think the partnerships they're making are going to be enough. It's just we haven't really seen it. Solana, we can both agree, I think is making all-time highs. THETA has a lot of competitors now. The whole streaming online was really kind of a niche thing. And now I don't think a lot of people are talking about it. You have these large, like traditional platforms that are integrating that anyways. They have a big presence in Asia. Do you think THETA gets to new all-time highs?
How far away is it from? It wasn't too far away. I know at one point it had a big rally and it got a little closer to its previous all-time high. It was kind of more realistic. So $13. I saw it at $3. Yeah, it was at $3 earlier this year briefly, and I was like, $3 THETA. Previous all-time high was $13. I could see it. I think THETA will come around. You know what? They have multiple directions that they're working on, right? They got the edge cloud with the AI compute, where you can loan your computer to offer your compute power for AI models. They have the video side. Also, they have cell phone integration, and in there, I think a cellular and blockchain is an untapped area. Everyone has a cell phone in their pocket, and so if you can, I don't know.
So you think yes?
Yeah, I think it will.
I think THETA will too. We'll throw THETA into the moon category. Decentraland. I think this is just a question of, should people have money in metaverse projects? Is the risk to reward there now? Because everything is down massive. The whole idea of metaverse, like it was in 2021, is not nearly getting people as excited. But I think with what is it? AR, augmented reality. I think people are going to kind of draw the conclusion augmented reality, metaverse, kind of the same idea. And augmented reality is something that I think is a lot closer than a full-fledged metaverse. So I think speculation could drive Decentraland to a new all-time high. It was around, $6 for Decentraland to get to a new all-time high. And we can just check really quick. Decentraland all-time high was $6. So at current price of 27 cents, do you see Decentraland 20xing? Robin?
For Decentraland, I don't believe in anything metaverse at this current moment. And what projects that we have. Now, I think that metaverse will come back. I don't think it'll come back this cycle. I think that the idea of having an immersive environment, social media style, maybe gaming style, maybe a merge of the two, that's something that I do believe in. I think that it is the future, that Ready Player One kind of mentality. Just the tech's not here, the adoption's not here. And in the middle of a bull market, I think that these keep trending downwards. And I think that what you'll have is a third party, already established system that will incorporate blockchain. So maybe Meta and like Horizon Worlds is like their big thing. Maybe they put Horizon Worlds on blockchain, right? Maybe that ends up being a crypto native project. They did almost launch the Libra token. Times have changed, regulation has changed. I think that there wouldn't be as much pushback for Zuckerberg to offer blockchain and metaverse in their own VR Horizon Worlds. And so I could see that being something that would have a big catalyst, a big boom. However, resurgence of Sandbox and Decentraland, I'm just not seeing it, dude.
Alex said, metaverse is dead. AI is the new metaverse meta. I can definitely see that. I think Decentraland ran way too hot last cycle, and I don't think it gets back to all-time highs. So I think we're both agreeing. This one goes into the abyss. Now, before we continue, we have a guest joining us today. He was on our show a couple weeks ago. Love having him on. It is none other than the Druth. Now, Drew, some people might be listening and saying, "Look, where does that come from? Is it like a play on the truth?"
Yeah, pretty much. It was actually created, I think BJ, he was on the show and he kind of just made it up and the community ran with it. So then I just decided, fine, you know what? I'll call myself the Drew. If
Like it.
we must. Yeah, the basement I think actually it was brought up when I covered the Vegas country music event that happened a few years ago and
Okay.
all the dark details behind that. I don't want to get you guys demonetized, but yeah, I dive into that stuff. So
Please don't get us demonetized. We worked really hard to get
Yep.
monetized.
Speaking
Yep,
of Vegas,
absolutely.
you coming out here for the conference, right?
Yes, I'm super excited. I am fasting. I'm going to take the selfie of a lifetime. I'm excited about it, man.
You
Like,
say you're fasting
yeah,
from
yeah.
now
I
until
mean,
May?
I got up to like 255. You know what I mean? So now I'm like trimming down a little bit of the extra, but I'm stronger than I've ever been. No roids. So shout out to that. You know what I mean? All natural. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Me and my wife are going to come out there, and we have quite a big crew of content creators that are interested in linking up and having kind of like a joint stream. I don't know what the hell it's going to end up looking like, but we have like,
Well,
I think
there's
it's like
one place that
30
can handle that,
channels.
Drew, and we'll talk about it
Dude,
later.
right? That's what yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. But I like watching your guys' kind of, void or what's dead. I think I'm pretty much in agreement with you guys so far on this.
We were just discussing the metaverse, Drew, and
Yeah.
I think this has got a lot of people kind of scratching their heads. We both put it in the abyss, so meaning we don't think it's gonna get to new all-time highs. We think it's gonna eventually trend to zero, and that it doesn't serve a utility or purpose that is gonna get big enough adoption to drive the market value price up. And then the moon categories are the ones that are the opposite. And then the void is kind of like, we just don't know. We can't kind of decide. And so I think we're both in agreement, at least for Decentraland, it ran way too hot off of speculation last cycle. We just don't think it's going to get to a new all-time high this cycle. What are your thoughts on the metaverse, Decentraland, and if you want to comment on anything up on the board right now?
Oh yeah, just metaverse, Decentraland dead. Very, very dead. There's like 17 people using it when the music stopped running in the bear market we were just in. Like, sure, it can have like a scam pump and ride, and you'll see like 17% from the absolute abyss. But I do disagree with a couple things in the moon category.
Okay.
So Ethereum, I think 2 or 3 X's, not to the moon. I think it 2 or 3 X's from where it's at. I think Base and Coinbase has captured.
My exact point was, sure it'll break a new all-time high, but I mean it's going to trend to zero over a long enough time window. I don't see it competing against elite layer ones. When I say elite layer ones that are just functional and have enough throughput. And so I don't know. I mean, you believe Ethereum will be in the top 5 10 years from now?
I actually do. But I think it's going to be a slower grind up. Maybe top 5, no, maybe top 10 it holds it. What I see is that Coinbase has found a way. They run the Base network and they have effective because they're the king of user interface. And the Base network, very easy to use, right? So they have this layer 2 that people can go in and out of for dirt cheap transactions. And I don't think we're going to see those $500 gas fees this cycle on Ethereum, even when the hype does come back. I think that its infrastructure is still going to be existent. I think that smart contracts are still going to be utilized and relied on. But at large, I feel like the Base network and layer 2s built on top of Ethereum are going to have that greater shine. That's just me. Where I could see Ethereum really going ballistic, and maybe it does, hit 10K, as if Wall Street gets overly excited about staking Ethereum ETFs.
Drew, let me ask you a question. Ask a question. What are your top 3 most bullish narratives in crypto?
Narratives. I think my first and foremost thing is Chainlink. I think communication.
No. I mean like verticals, like gaming, metaverse, RWA. DeFi.
So it's RWA, AI, and then the third. Oh, that's a tough one. I guess the third would be. I want to say that's the dark horse, but government usage of blockchain, it's not even a narrative yet.
So infrastructure.
infrastructure.
Okay.
It's like government chosen blockchain.
So Drew, you're a smart guy. You do your research. You listed RWA as number one. Who has the most market share when it comes to layer ones in RWA?
I think it would be Ethereum.
Yeah, by
it's
a
still
mile.
Ethereum. Yeah,
Anywhere between 65 to 75%.
But something about that is Ondo's coming out with its own chain, right? And we've seen Securitize building out the Biddle project with, BlackRock, and there's very deep connections there. Ondo coming out with its own chain, it's going to be on top, but we just see these hybrid morphings of Ethereum one step further on it. You know what I mean? So that's why I say it's not going away.
We've seen the same transition with Ethereum on other verticals, right? They were king of DeFi, that's been slipping away from them. They were king of NFTs, that's slipped away from them. They're king of right now they are king of stable coins, and they're king of RWAs, but everything else that they were at the top of their game with, as institutions or users decided that, hey, like we need more, right? We need more transactions, more throughput. The obvious choice was to go elsewhere to a competitor. And so I think that, yes, Ethereum has the RWA capture right now, but as RWAs heat up and institutions are demanding, a more efficient blockchain, I think that people are going to escape away from Ethereum and go to Solana and other blockchains that can facilitate the same thing ETH does. So, I mean, if you can do the exact same thing that ETH does, and you can process more transactions, and if a company needs more transactions, then why would they stay on ETH if you can get the same thing done outside, right?
I can understand that. The ETH is the second biggest supercomputer on the planet, like network, as far as that. Like it is right behind Bitcoin as far as the size of the network, and now it's proof of stake, obviously, but it is a massive, massive infrastructure, and I think that when you're a government and you're looking at, let's say, tokenizing a dollar or putting, a high rise on chain, they want the most proven long-term systems. And I don't know if Solana is going to be chosen for that, because you have a lot of controversy, like the Libra token scam. I mean, that's a government level meme coin scam that rugged. You have Central African Republic. You have a bunch of literal government level memes that are trending to zero in a very fast fashion. So I don't know if Solana is necessarily it, but Ethereum, this is why I say it's not going to go necessarily to zero, but you brought up DeFi. A lot of the DeFi is making its way over to Base. Like some of the best performers, like Morpho, is a Coinbase DeFi that you can give your Bitcoin, you get USDC back in like 10 seconds on Coinbase. It already has like billions of dollars in it, and it's a tiny project. So I don't think that it's DeFi is really slipping. I mean, it's slipping away from the original Ethereum, but it's such a, this is how I compare it to. It's like Ethereum to me, technologically speaking, in comparison to metaphors, is like whale oil. How we used to heat our homes and our businesses with whale oil. It's very effective, and it's what we knew at the time. And then all of a sudden we come up with kerosene, and it just simply shifts. We don't stop completely using, like, sure, people in the far north Arctic, they still use whale oil, right? But for the aggregate, companies and homes shifted to kerosene, and then now we have natural gas and things. It's just an evolution in technology. And the same thing can be said for like the early .com bubbles, where you have the early integrations. We used to all use AOL disks. Then now Google, right? Google wasn't even a thing when the original .com bubble was going on. So
did you call Ethereum whale oil?
I just find it.
I did.
I agree. I just find it hard to believe to think ETH is gonna trend to zero.
I didn't say that. I don't think it's going to trend to zero.
No, I know you didn't say that.
No, I mean, I agree. It'll always retain some value. I mean, you can still sell your Beanie Babies for 25 cents on eBay, but
Well, and the counter argument to myself and how I stay kind of nuanced in this is like retail cares about gas, and like when gas gets really hard, but RWA managers aren't going to give a shit about paying $500 to $1,000.
I would argue I would argue they would want a chain that is maybe a little costlier to the average user. So that argument's
It
been
makes it
made.
more difficult. Yeah,
Right.
it makes it more difficult to arbitrage. So
And it's
there
more
are arguments
exclusive.
made on
Just
both
like
sides.
you have the accredited investors, only if you have a certain amount of money you can invest in certain things or products. It's kind of the same thing, right? Only if you're of this tier, you can use Ethereum, not because of that's what ETH wants, that's just because of the way the system is set up. I don't know what that's
But
going to look like.
ICP, what is ICP doing at the top here? Like, I want to know where this scenario, because I make a lot of money trading ICP, but like, are we expecting to go to Web3 in total this cycle? Where's this? Where's
I
this stock
think
going?
for me, ICP is all about the tech, and I think it's going to get the adoption. It's truly unique in what it does, and the way their token system is set up, very similar to ETH's, obviously, and really anything that's inflationary is you just need the users, the usage, to really make that token deflationary. If it is, we kind of saw a small glimpse with what Bob.Fun did. If you can get 5 of those, I think clearing a $100 all-time high, $60, $100, whatever, I think is a no-brainer. This thing went to $22 off of really like one protocol pump. So I like the team. They got the most scientists on their team working. And so
you know, like remember when Hedera Hashgraph was kind of getting popularity, and people were like, "Hey, look, it's a Hashgraph protocol." Not to say that there isn't any other Hashgraph. I mean, there's plenty of them. You know, there's Constellation DAG. I know you're familiar with, but there's other Hashgraph protocols, but it really stood out against the competition, and it gave a unique utility that you would not see out of everyone else, or at least consensus mechanism, and in turn gave a certain style of or a certain type of throughput that you couldn't get. Also, that's kind of where I stand with ICP. Their tech is a little out there, right? You know, they don't rely on a traditional Oracle service. They have these smart contract canisters where they, can leverage AI all on the blockchain. They can store lots of metadata on a blockchain, which, you look at other blockchains, they're not able to even store, more than say a JPEG image as far as the amount of data. And this, so they've figured out how to store a lot of this on chain. Now, perhaps you could argue it's more centralized than some of the other competitors, but I think that they bring something to the table that is different. And so for top 50 projects, I think that in itself holds value. Now, will retail and institutions and people see the value and then in turn go and use it and build on it? That I don't know. That's the big question, but I think it's worth a shot. I believe in the team. And so that's kind of where I've come to my decision on expecting it to break new all-time highs. It's more of the promise of it having a different perspective in blockchain and a different use case and utility.
Well, and they're going for so much. Like, I just feel like, all right, so my dad was a chemical engineer, and like kind of metaphorically, it's like he designed systems that could run off hydrogen, but he got stopped out by the oil and gas industry. And when I look at a Web3 internet that's trying to overtake what exists on Web 2 and kind of honestly just leave it in the dust, I don't think that we go from point Web 2 to point Web 3 just in one foul swoop, and then those smart canisters start being really burned. You see the development start really happening. Concentration DAG isn't it's a metagraph, and that's completely different, but it's kind of like, I know that there's partnerships with HBAR, and Constellation DAG's focus is the thing that I like about Constellation DAG is that it's got a focused specific use case. And what I haven't seen come out of ICP is, outside of we're going to take over the entire internet, a specific starting point. You got to walk before you run in this, in the actual application of this kind of tech, if you want massive adoption to any degree. So that's where it's like, and I have this is me talking and trashing my own bag, because I have a bag of ICP and I made a lot of money off ICP in 2024, but it's more of a next cycle kind of thing for me. I think it's going to be around. I think that we just need time for Web 2.5 to be built out, interoperability to go down, RWAs to actually get it put in place before we see that transition to a true Web3 internet.
That's one thing
just
we've
me.
seen with ICP is that they've always been pretty early to a lot of the trends. That's how I feel with Caspa. I don't think the people that want Caspa to go to a $3 this cycle, I think they're doing that project a disservice. This is coming from someone who really, really likes Caspa. But when you're a project like Caspa, you take no outside funding, you got no VC money, it's a fair launch. You got no one really accelerating, adding gasoline to the already lit fire to get that ecosystem growth going. It's going to take time. It's going to take time to build out some of these dApps, the infrastructure, the users, getting stable coins on there. If you give it another cycle, I think Caspa could be one of the best performing assets in the next, 6 to 8 years. The problem is a lot of people just don't have the patience to sit there and wait, buy it at 5 cents, wait 8 years, sell it at
But
5.
couldn't you
$6.
argue that if you're taking 6 to 8 years, it's such a, so much will evolve and change by then, perhaps what you're working on
That's
now.
what Cardano did.
No,
No.
but Cardano
Did the same exact thing. It took years. The thing is, as you're building, are you paying attention to the trend, where the markets are going, and then are you implementing those? And then how long does that take you?
But where I'm saying, if you're going to compare Cardano, how many layer 1 blockchains are there that are at the scalable size of Cardano, as distributed as it is, with with however many dApp developers, and so at the time that it was in its infancy, there was nothing competing, and so the way I look at it now is that they were competing for the spot that they're in now. Right now, there's a handful of layer 1s that can do what Cardano does. And maybe you could say 20, but it's not. The list isn't that much deeper, at least not to the effectiveness that these layer 1s are operating at now. And so, if Caspa right now is not even at smart contract range, and you're talking 6 to 8 years, now that basket of 20 is now a basket of 2,000, right? Because now you got more time for layer 1s to develop. So, not only will it be Caspa, but it will be, just look at all the projects there, all right? These are all going to become monumentally more successful and larger. Sure, some will fall off, but the category of layer 1s is going to expand. In the same way, there was only so many tech companies initially. A lot of them died out, and then all of a sudden there's this giant capture, and so it's so hard to break into it, right? It's so hard to take down Google now if you started your own web browser, right? You could say hey, well, Google wasn't shit back in 2004, but look at them now. But now the capture that Google has is so huge that trying to break that hold down as a small project later on is damn near impossible. And so I would argue, if you don't capture the layer 1 retail piece of the pie now, and you wait 6 to 8 years, Cardano is going to be huge. Avalanche, I think, will be huge. Ethereum, I think, will be pretty damn big. I didn't say huge.
Well,
that's what makes me nervous about 6 to 8 years from now.
Well, and we're underestimating how early literally we still are. When I look at this Bitcoin strategic reserve, we're not talking much about the unsexy but ultra bullish part of Bitcoin strategic reserve, which is the Bitcoin bonds out of the treasury. And the Bitcoin bonds is going to be the easiest win. Literally, the moment that America rolls out Bitcoin bonds, other countries that don't do it. Yeah, but the point, when America does it, if a country outside, let's say China decides not to, they're going to get crushed. The treasury bonds are going to collapse because it's an easy, a massive yield, and it's going to essentially create a black hole of power to the countries that do it. I'm looking at Caspa's chart right now. This is such a crazy thing for me to look at. We have data going back to July 2022, and in the basement we were talking about it. It was December of 2022. We were mining it, and the reason why we're mining it is because we're proof of work maxis. It went ballistic, obviously. I think it was December 2022. I don't even know if it's on that graph. Yeah, it is. There you go.
No, that's not Caspa. I'm going to pull up Caspa right now.
Yeah, pull up Caspa, because this narrative that it's dead and it's so down, like it really depends on when you get in, and we have such conviction in the basement about proof of work that it was just an easy win because people were mining it. It had a strong network of mining. And now the mining pool is a lot more competitive, and you definitely had a blow off top. Like it hit 20 cents, and now it's all the way down to what is that, like 7.5 cents right now. I would expect this thing to potentially prove its support level at 5 cents flat. If I'm just looking at this, the 5 cents flat mark is.
If you want,
the
you can share your screen. We can always pull it up if you wanted to.
Oh, you guys have the same thing I'm looking at.
Okay, cool. Just checking.
Yeah, this 5 cent mark, and it does. It's print. Is this the weekly? Or, yeah, this is the weekly. It's printing.
Yeah, I got 5 cents on green right there.
5 cents on green.
Yeah.
I think that it's bound, and it essentially did hit that moment. Now we're starting to see the slight hint of altcoins holding up just a little bit. Like Chainlink is printing a pretty good green candle when you go to link to BTC pairing. I'm seeing a lot of the stronger value added altcoins printing green candles in comparison to Bitcoin. And honestly, like that point that Kaspa fell down to might indeed be that moment. So that's what I'm watching out for. Like, Kaspa, I think that it's got to continue. It's got to have a higher low from where it's at right now, or it's going to be a quick ride downhill. But we're still 200 days from the historical tops for crypto at large. So I'm not really worried about things. It's kind of hilarious and sad to me to see people capitulate and give up on the idea of a bull market in general. That, what we're looking at on Kaspa, that's the bull market. Pack your bags up, folks. We're going back down to zero. It's foolish because we are 200 days from historical tops. There's still a ton of room on the Pi cycle top indicator. We haven't checked any of it.
The problem is everyone's in an echo chamber, and if their portfolio is not up because, I don't know, maybe they're too overextended into not quality projects, or but you zoom out, you look at Bitcoin, and we're trading above $85,000 with the whole tariff thing. And I truly believe this whole tariff and the spook in the markets, once that goes away, I think we're going to see like a week straight of just like 5 to 10% candles. I really do.
Yeah.
I think once that kind of cloud is lifted off investors, I think it's going to be it's going to be a massive rally. Drew, we want to thank you for joining us, man. If you want to tell the people where they can find more of you, if they're looking for the Druth.
I'm on X/Twitter at Druth Crypto, and then I run the blockchain basement. We're live Monday through Friday, usually around 12:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But on Mondays, we're right after Discover Crypto, which comes in around 11:45. Next time I'm on here, I didn't get enough time. I want to show you my macro graphs on Bitcoin and the cycle where we're at, and how I'm coming up with my top prediction as well.
Go ahead and show it. Go ahead.
Well, let's see if I'll toggle the screen share. Let's see if I can do this. Toggle screen sharing. Let's go to here, Bitcoin. Let's do it. All right, so let's see here. I'll connect here. All right, so here is, all right, this is April 2nd where this kind of triangle comes to, which is kind of crazy to see. But I am definitely a fib believer in like macro view. So
You're a fib believer?
I'm a fib believer, So what we had here is like the one was created at the $19,500 mark in 2017. And we fall down to that bear market low, December 2018 at $3,200. But then we extended about halfway to the top. This top zone, 3.618 to 4.236. We absolutely accomplished blow off top, total euphoria moment. It was kind of funny for me, seeing everyone angry that not hitting 100K in this cycle, because we hit this perfectly. And it was pretty easy to take profits when we did. Now we pull the same fib from where we're at currently, because some things have absolutely changed. Let's see here. We pull this bad boy. All right. So something important for me to note here is on this past bull market, we spent a very small amount of time chopping at that previous all-time high before taking off. And then we found our 30% correction January, February in a higher fib zone than where we are currently. This is a 1.618 to 2.618 last bull market. And just to show for everyone that doesn't believe me, this is about 31%, January, February, right there. We go to this market currently, where we are, as you can see, we are chopping lower than this previous market where we found our chop in the red zone. Instead, we're chopping in the blue zone. And this pullback, I'll move this little finger here, is right smack dab at the same time frame zone of the last cycle and generally at the same percentage-wise of just under 30% of an entire pullback. So when I'm zoomed out completely on this thing, this move right here, percentage-wise and time frame-wise, is the same as this move. It's just simply that we're chopping at a lower Fibonacci level, and it makes sense because now we're in a multi-trillion-dollar asset class. It's harder to move a trillion-dollar market cap. So where I'm looking for is to make it to about the mid-range of the purple zone, which is $179,000. I'm expecting basically 170 to 200. 200 is right at the bottom end or top end of this purple zone at 3.618. So that's how I'm coming up with everything. There's a lot of confluence to that on other angles that you look at, but this is how I like to look at things, is just on a Fibonacci sequence. Things, for some reason, seem to follow this, especially on the larger time frames. And I'm literally 200 days from historical top time frames. We just hit this all-time high ahead of time. We got ETFs. We didn't have to wait till after the halving like we did in this cycle. We hit it ahead of time because of the ETFs being released back here. Chop for longer, people give up. Same pullback at the time frame that we're in right now. And I think it's going to be a crazy year, man. Absolutely crazy year.
Yeah, I agree. And the people saying, I like, if you're sitting here saying the bull market's over, just miss me with that, bro. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion, but to sit here and say the bull market's over, right now with everything going on, I just think it's pretty foolish. And so we'll see who it turns out to be right. But Drew, thanks for sharing that, man. As Drew mentioned, go follow him on X. Also, Blockchain Basement does go live, as he mentioned, Monday through Friday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. Correct, Drew?
Yes, we are.
If you want to swap to your camera, by the way, Drew.
Let's see here. Stop sharing. There we go. Let's swap to my camera. How do I do this? Toggle camera view. Oh, I turned myself off.
Oh, man. Damn it. All right,
well, you guys have
a
good show.
I'll have to FaceTime you after the show so I can see your face.
All right, I'll see you.
Drew, thanks, brother. Take care. I want to give a big shout out to Uncle Jesse. 6, I believe those are euros. €6 super chat said hit the like button and say hola, and also hit the like button. And now for the alpha. Also, Todd Keaton said, David, Rob, and Ashley, love you guys. We love you too, Todd. Speaking of Ashley, hi, Ashley.
Hi.
Would you like to say anything?
It's Mr. Miles' birthday today. He's spending it watching crypto YouTube.
Okay, I actually know Mr. Miles, and he requested one thing. He would like you to sing happy birthday to him like Marilyn Monroe did to President John F. Kennedy. Will you do it?
Marilyn who?
Marilyn Monroe.
Monroe?
Happy birthday.
Forget about it.
Oh, I think you should do it. You
let
did really
No,
good. Keep it going.
let it go.
Keep it going.
And I'm married. You're single. I'm married. I can't. Anyways,
no.
happy birthday, Mr. Miles.
Happy birthday.
I was a big Caspa guy, but any names you'd like to?
There's Eric ES Lucky Tattoo Mo, and it was me 007. Yeehaw.
That's it.
That's all.
What about Mr. BB?
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Mr. Big.
Miss-
People saying bull run is over, and the ones that didn't buy Bitcoin at 50K, that is true. That is very true. All right.
All right.
Before we step off, I would like to give a big thank you. Today's show was also partly brought to you by Legacy Network and the Legacy Academy app. You know, the LGCT token has been one of the best performing tokens, period, through the last 3 months while everything else was trending down, 20, 30, 40, 50% drawdowns. LGCT was actually gaining momentum. And this entire time, you could have been earning it for free with the app. Download the app. It's on Google and Apple Play Store. And then use the link in the description to join their Telegram to stay up to date. So big thank you to Legacy for bringing today's show. With that being said, Rocco. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It was an absolute pleasure. On behalf of myself, Ashley, Rob, and Rocco, we look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Until then, peace.
Sin City, crypto. Everybody know we here for entertainment and info. Gonna show you how to get that big dough. So every day stay tapped in for big facts, no capping. With Bitcoin, if you're in, then you win. We divide the pie with no fraction. It's Big Rob, David. I spit the game, but they gave it. Name the coin that's your favorite. I got dry powder, why save it? To the OGs, new beginners. Special shout out to the well members. Buy a dip, sell winners. Ain't really nothing you can tell.